So we saw patterns of people claiming how smart they are and how they are able to multitask easily in the car. We felt that many answers people saw distracting driving as an indicator of a good multitasking skill. So maybe it can look cool for them to be able to multitask while they drive. A1 said, "I know when it's safe to use my phone, and I never use it on the freeway." A2 said, "When I asked about checking phones at red light, I said, I know I can use my phone in if my car is not moving." A3 participant said, "I always receive messages, and I have to check them. I'm working in the car most of the time." So a lot of factors are taken into consideration now, such as people think that a lot of habits are put in place into those answers, but there's none of them that really say I try to stop using my phone on the car. Smartphone addiction. Many participants claim they check their phone out of boredom or habit. When asked how often they check their phone at the red light, 70% said all the time. I use my car to make phone calls because I don't have enough time otherwise. A2 said, "I check it because sometimes I'm sitting there and there is nothing else to do." And A3 said, "I feel bored when I don't check my phone for longer than 10 minutes. So as you can see, there's a huge addiction going on. Here is one graph that we mentioned here. If we look at this graph, over here, this graph talks about distracting driving in teens, the frequency of it, and the age. So 16-year-old, there's 4, 70-year-old, 4. This is a smartphone usage according to our quantitative results. So as you can see, all these frequencies are the same for the ages and a bit lower for 19 years old. Now, distracting driving is dangerous. Of course it is. All participants agree distracting driving is dangerous and extremely dangerous. Yet they also say they couldn't go to the duration of their trip without checking their phone. Again, this plays in role with the addiction. A2 said, "I could have been in an accident." A4 said, "One look could change your life." A3 said, "I know someone who died in an accident." A4, "I know it's not safe, but there are times when it's safer to check." So a lot of people are conscious of how distracted they get in the car and the results that can happen, but they still look at the phone. What we conclude from this presentation is, and there's research, is that music plays a major factor in distracting driving. Therefore, we need to equip cars with better music notification, because if they're not able to change their way of thinking, we have to have an impact otherwise. People need to be more aware of the statistics of the distracting driving deaths. So being able to see this presentation will really raise the awareness of how people get distracted in the car. People are very addicted to their smartphones and check it out of habit. Therefore, placing their phone on do not disturb could help them not receive notification while driving. This is one of the solutions. Nearly all could not go to the duration of their trip without checking their phone, therefore caused by possible smartphone addiction, for which may need additional remedy. Maps were also a very big common excuse, therefore helping equip vehicles with better GPS mapping systems could benefit this issue. This is one of the graphs that percentage of our answers: recklessness 10%, feeling bored 10%, not being able to go the duration of the trip without looking at the phone 10%, addicted to smartphone 20%, and music 40%. So most of them are just getting distracted from changing music. Final thoughts, solutions. Cell phones ultimately leads to the lack of attention put in by the driver. Awareness is a primal factor to the solution of this issue. There's no possible way of radicalizing this issue because there's way too many people, and there's no possible way of monitoring who is getting distracted and how long, and there's a bunch of things that has to be taken in place to be able to do this, and it's very, 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 very hard to do it. Spending more time explaining consequences of distracting driving and multitasking in the car. Make it cool to be a good driver. check notifications before driving, create a playlist, and the music can play seamlessly. These are my references, and thank you for listening today.